Hello and welcome back to New Wave Hockey. I'm your host, Link Dansevich, and welcome back to Prospect of the Week. This week, we have from Your Gardens IF in the Allsvenskan, Sweden, Victor Eklund. He is just a tremendous skill forward prospect, and I feel like he's needed to be talked about for a while now since he's crawled his way up draft boards. He's looked really excellent. Let's take a look at who Victor Eklund is. Despite his size, he's one of the oldest players in this entire class. He will turn 19 on October 3rd, 2025. He comes from Stockholm, Sweden, and yes, you're looking at that right. He is the brother of William Eklund, who was drafted by the San Jose Sharks back in 2021. Now, like his brother, Victor's been playing in the Your Gardens IF system for a little bit of a while now, and he's now worked his way to the Hockey Allsvenskan, and he's putting up some really solid numbers. Like last year, through 15 games, he only had 4 points. Now 19 games, he has 15 points, 8 goals, 7 assists as of the time that I'm recording this right now. He has consistently found his way at the top of draft boards. He's crawling into the top 10, and there's a lot of reasons why. Let's get into them right now with the skating. Victor Eklund is a tremendous skater, really blazing fast, especially on that big ice in Europe. He plays really quick. His acceleration helps him jumpstart chances for his team. The basis of all of his speed comes from his legs. He's chopping the ground like he hates the ice. It's really awesome, and his quickness is a factor in his game. It really helps turn heads for him. He fits the mold of most typical Swedish skaters in the fact that they are very advanced in their skating ability. In looking to become an option in the passing game, he has a great off-puck game. The consistent energy that he shows in the offensive zone, he keeps moving around everywhere, not really being able to be contained into one spot, makes him a true offensive talent. And the skating is just really excellent, especially for him being at 5'11". With him being a shorter frame, he needs to have this great skating ability, and he does. The consistent energy with his skates does not die in the neutral and defensive zone, which makes him a really solid two-way threat and a really nice option to have. So you have an excellent skater in the younger Eklund. The only place that I could be nitpicky about his skating is that I wish there was better edge work, but he's solid enough already. He gets the chances that he needs. Again, he's really solid in the offensive zone, really solid in neutral ice. I'm a huge fan of it. Let's look at the rest of his offensive game with the shooting aspect. Despite having a really short frame and small build, only 161 pounds, he packs a mighty shot, all right? I look at his shot volume, and you can tell he's getting better at his shot selection. He loves to be quick on rebounds. He shoots lower from deeper, higher from closer range. He's a very smart shooter. He induces chaos when there's a lot of help in front of the net for him, and his release is really quick. Again, you have all the makings of a really solid shooter. You just got to get a little bit more power behind the shot. I've seen him be a little bit slower on one-timers, which again, that will come when you have more meat behind the shot. He just needs to bulk up and get bigger, but for right now, the shot looks great, and it can get better. In a couple of years, man, who can tell? He could be a 30-goal scorer in the NHL at some point. Looking at the stick handling, he's a very capable stick handler. I'll go there, because in the J20, he was very, very solid with the stick handling. It was a big part of his game. Opens up passing lanes, opens up space and time for him to make moves and create offensively, but he's kind of toned it back. He's become more of a conservative stick handler in the Allsvenskan, which is fine. It's a sign of maturity. It's a sign that he knows the environment that he's playing in, and he's playing to win. It's a very mature thing for a young prospect to do, and he's very solid in all three zones at creating space and time to make passes or plays with his stick handling. A very awesome ability for him. They're not world-breaking hands, but they're very efficient, and they give him loads of opportunity upon entries. Eklund has really adapted to the speed and physicality of the Allsvenskan. There's really no better evidence of that than watching him in the passing game. He's really solid at cross-ice passes. He's been able to find all of his teammates whenever he enters the zone. He can read the play really well, but in terms of the pass, it gets off pretty good most of the time, but again, he needs to improve it. He's got to be quicker sometimes. That will come with more strength under his stick. In terms of IQ, Victor Eklund is a tremendously smart player in the offensive zone. He is really solid at breaking up plays in the neutral ice and in the defense, but in the offensive zone, he's always moving. He's always looking to create chances for his teammates to pass to him, because at the end of the day, Victor Eklund's a bit of a selfish player. He wants that puck on his stick to score, and I really love it, but the important part is he puts the work in by creating chances for him to get open in front of the net for a scoring chance when he doesn't have the puck. That's a really smart habit to have at a young age, and it makes me think that he's going to translate really well to the next level. Speaking of translating well to the next level, let's look at his compete. As you all know, if you've watched a lot of my scouting reports or look at my draft coverage, I stress compete and high effort heavily. I'm a huge fan of it. If you have it, it's really awesome. If you are physical and you show that extra compete and effort when you have a smaller build, that's bonus points. And Victor Eklund certainly earns those bonus points. He's willing to lay the body, even though he's 5'11", 161 pounds. He gets in there. He'll fight along the boards. He'll fight in front of the net. He'll go to those dirty areas. It's just, what are you willing to do to stand out? And Victor Eklund has done that in spades. There's an argument that he could be the first Swede taken in this draft, and you all know how highly touted Anton Frondell is. The reason being is Eklund's compete more than his brother. He gets into those dirty areas more than his brother ever did. I'm a really big fan of his grit and compete. He fights with a determination that I haven't seen in a Swedish prospect in a long time. Victor Eklund is a tremendous compete, and he's showing all this physicality and all this compete on larger ice. Imagine what happens when he gets to smaller ice in North America. I'm really excited to see what will happen. The development of his two-way game has been incredible. It's been really formational in Victor Eklund in creating a really well-rounded prospect. And as for now, how high this versatility will carry him will be seen. I'm really solid that he's going to be a top 10 pick in this draft because of how well his game is rounded. In conclusion, Victor Eklund has really worked hard to round out his game, but the offensive dynamism is still there. He is a tremendous prospect, and he's showing everyone why he has a case to be a top 10 pick. I would not be surprised to see Eklund make the SHL sometime soon. Even the World Junior Swedish team, I think he'll make camp. As for if he's going to make the team, we will see, but I'm pretty confident myself. Your Gardens is becoming a factory for producing exciting young Swedes that are NHL ready, and Victor Eklund is just another young gem to come from the system. I cannot wait for him to play in the NHL, but as for now, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this Victor Eklund scouting report. I hope you enjoyed watching the clips of him because he's just a fun player to watch. If you're interested and you want to hear more of my takes, definitely check me out on Twitter at LinkDanceVich, or go look at my website at New Wave Hockey. I post an article with every single video that I make. They're essentially the scripts that I do these videos with. They go into way more detail than I ever could in a video, and I would really appreciate it if you go ahead and check me out. But as always, thanks again for watching. I'm your host, LinkDanceVich, for New Wave Hockey, signing off.